Hi everyone, quick little race recap. I did the Melbourne Marathon 5.7k today. Look at that. Look at that. I had a medal. And that's my racing bib. It was very, very exciting. I've had a lot of problems with my mouth, with fibromyalgia lately, and haven't even really been able to go to the gym the last couple of weeks. Because with the fibro, I knew if I exercised too much, I might not have enough left in the tank to even do the 5.7. So I laid off the gym, and went along today. I was very, very nervous because I've never done a big event like this. I did a 5 kilometre fun run a couple of years ago. That was my first run. But I've never been to like this sort of massive event where there's, like 70,000 people and people who are, like there was, I think, about 3,500 people running the 5.7k. But, like people running marathons and half marathons and stuff. It's all really very serious. So I rocked up and I felt all right. I woke up all right this morning. I wasn't in flare-up when I woke up this morning, and I got there and I felt all right. And it's a really big day even before you get there, because you've got to get up early. And then I drove to the station and I got the train into Richmond. That's about a 45-50 minute trip from Frankston. And then like walking from Frankston station to the MCG and finding out where to drop my bag and everything, and then I had to walk to just down past Rod Laver Arena to the start and everything. So, like by the time 11 o'clock rolled around, it had already been a pretty big day for me. And I just stood there with, like all these thousands of other people. And then, the race was delayed by 10 minutes. It actually turned out to be more like about 15, I think. And then, like they set us all off, and I couldn't even run. I was quite a little way back from the the start tunnel, and I couldn't even start running until just before I got to it, because there was just so many people. There was no way I could run, so I just walked up there, and it was a really nice course. A lot of it was we ran like along the Yarra. That was really, really nice, and the weather was really good. And I just ran as much as I could and walked the rest of it, and I'd set myself a goal to do it in 1 hour and 5 minutes, because I worked out like my park run times, and park run's 5 kilometres and the run today was 5.7, and so I thought, if I can get it done in 1 minute and 1 hour and 5 minutes, I'll be really, really happy. And I did it in, I think, 1 hour 2 minutes and 28 seconds or something. So I come in under the time I wanted, and I thought, like my dream time would be 1 hour and 3 minutes. So I even did that. So I was so happy. And I did walk a lot of it. I walked probably a little over half of it, because I can't run for really long bursts, although I did do my longest ever burst of running. When I do those sort of runs, on the treadmill I can't run for more than a minute or a minute and a half. It's very, very different. But when I'm out, like in the open, I can run for 3 or 4 minutes at a time, because I listen to my music when I do it, and I can run for a song, and your average song goes for about 3 or 4 minutes. Today was the first time ever that I ran for like 1.5 songs. So that would have been, I don't know, maybe 6 minutes, I guess. That was really good, and I felt good running. The first burst of running I did not feel good at all. It felt like I was trying to run through peanut butter. That's just the fibro, and I thought, I hope the whole run isn't going to be like this, but it wasn't. It was just that first burst of running, and then after that, I actually felt pretty good running, and wasn't in pain until we got around to Brunton Avenue. So I guess that's like the home stretch. You get down back onto Brunton Avenue, and then you sort of you can see the MCG, and you can see where everyone's going into the MCG. My feet started to cramp up, and I'd started to cramp up in the back of one of my legs, but I just kept going. I thought I'll run it out, and I did. So it only hurt for a little while. My back normally feels pretty good when I run. It hurts when I first start running. This is my upper back. My lower back just hurts the whole way because of all the shaking of the skin and everything. But it's not a terrible pain, so I can run through that. But normally, when I first run, for the first few minutes, my upper back really, really hurts. But then the pain goes away, and I have no pain, and I love that running is something I can do where it helps my back pain. But I think once I got to about the 3 4K mark, maybe 3.5, 4K, my back started hurting again. But I thought, whatever I do, it's going to hurt, so just keep going. But it was, I'm not normally, I can be quite emotional, but I'm not, I don't know, I was really surprised by this. I could see the MCG coming up, and like people, they swing off to the left to go in through, one of the tunnels into the MCG, and then like then they're on the ground, they're on the field of the MCG, and I don't care about footy, like I've got a footy team and whatever, but I don't really care, unless they're winning. I'm one of those people. But I don't really give a rat's ass. I haven't even been to the MCG in over 20 years. I haven't been to the footy in that long. But when I turned off Brunton Avenue to go into the MCG, I was crying like a baby. And it wasn't, I don't think it was so much because I was running onto the MCG, but because I knew that was like the final leg, and it's a really big deal to do a lap of the MCG, and just that I'd done it, I'd done something so, I'd say special, I guess, for me. And so, like I was in tears when I ran onto the MCG, and then I ran around, and I'd planned on running the full lap of the MCG to finish up, but I couldn't. There were so many people there that I couldn't safely run and keep running around and weaving in and everything. So I did walk a little bit on the MCG. And then coming up to the finish, I really wanted to finish strong and really run over the finish line. But again, I couldn't because there were so many people stopped there, taking photos and stuff. And there were walkers who did the 3K walk who started after the 5.7K runners, and I knew I prepared myself that there would be walkers finishing their 3Ks before I finished my 5.7 because I am very slow. And I did see quite a few walkers finishing before me, but that didn't bother me. I was ready for that. But I got over the finish line, and like all my tears were gone because it was over, and I was just so wow, where can I go and get my my medal and everything. And so I was sort of walking off the MCG, and my phone rang, and I answered. It was my brother-in-law, and he'd sent me a message a couple of minutes earlier saying nice headphones, and I thought, oh, he must have seen it on the live cam. They must be sitting at home and they must have watched it and seen me come through the tunnel. And then he's gone, oh, turn to your right. And I'm thinking, what a weird thing to say. So I turned to my right, and my sister and my brother-in-law and my niece had actually come into the MCG to see me finish, and they'd been, tracking me on the app and everything. So that was so special for me. So again, of course, I started crying again. And so then, I went up and found them, and then we went to my son. He works in a cafe, and we went there and we had some lunch, and I had a glass of wine, and they drove me home and stuff. And it's just been a really, really nice day. Just people encouraging me and being proud of me, and I'm proud of me, and and I did it. I had a little bit of cramping, and I can't say it was like easy, but I did it, and I'm sitting here now. I feel fine. Like after the race, after about, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, the adrenaline wore off, and I was hurting a bit then, and it was getting a bit, feeling a bit stiff when I was walking, but I feel fine now. Don't know how I'm going to pull up tomorrow, but I don't even feel like I need to really lay down and have a nap or anything. I feel like I might just have a nice cup of tea and do a bit of cross stitch. So all you ladies out there, and the men as well, if you've got a lot of weight on you, and I was 170 kilos, and I couldn't walk to my letterbox without getting puffed out, and running was, like I could maybe run for 10 metres and I would be just about dead. You can do it. I can't believe how much my life has changed since I got lap banded. And today this morning when I got up, I was 89.9 kilos, and I went with a whole bunch of other people and ran for 5.7 kilometres and got a really cool medal for it. So there is no way in my wildest imagination that I could have done that 4 years ago when I was 170 kilos. I never even dreamed that would be something that I could do, or even something that I would want to do. It was so foreign to me. And now, I'm already really sort of looking forward to doing it again next year, and maybe trying to very gradually, gently train myself up to maybe do a 10K, maybe. I don't know, don't hold me to that just because I've said it. So anyway, that's my little race recap, and I'm feeling proud today, I'm feeling good.